Brave New World is a dystopian novel written by Aldous Huxley in 1932. It depicts a future society where technological advancements and strict government control have created a seemingly perfect world devoid of conflict, poverty, or suffering. However, beneath the surface, this utopia comes at the cost of individual freedom, emotional depth, and true human connection. The story is set in a future world where humanity is governed by a global state that ensures stability and order through advanced technology, genetic engineering, and psychological conditioning. In this society, people are not born naturally. Instead, they are created and decanted in hatcheries, where they are genetically designed to fit into specific social classes or castes. The 5 main castes, alphas, betas, gammas, deltas, and epsilons, are programmed to accept their roles without question. Happiness and societal harmony are maintained by encouraging instant gratification, promiscuity, and the use of a drug called soma, which eliminates any emotional distress. Bernard Marx is an alpha who feels alienated from the superficial, hedonistic culture of the world state. He questions the lack of individuality and deeper meaning in his society, despite benefiting from its privileges. Lenina Crown is a beta worker at the hatchery. Lenina represents the ideal citizen in the world state, outgoing, happy, and completely content with the values of her society. She is romantically involved with Bernard. John the Savage is the son of 2 world state citizens who grew up in this savage reservation. John represents the natural human experience that has been eradicated from the world state. He has read Shakespeare and holds traditional values of love, suffering, and individuality, making him an outsider when he is brought into the modern world. Mustafa Mond is one of the world controllers. Mustafa Mond is responsible for maintaining order in society. He justifies the sacrifices of freedom, art, and truth for the sake of social stability. Bernard takes Lenina on a trip to a savage reservation, a place where people still live naturally, outside the control of the world state. There, they meet John and his mother Linda, who had been stranded on the reservation years earlier. Bernard, seeing an opportunity to gain attention and status, brings John and Linda back to the world state. John becomes an instant curiosity as the savage, and people flock to see him because he represents a life they've never known. John, however, is horrified by the shallow and emotionally numb society. He cannot reconcile the absence of suffering, passion, or meaning in this brave new world. As John struggles to adapt, he confronts Mustafa Mond, who explains why the world state sacrifices individuality, love, art, and truth for collective happiness. Mond argues that this society is stable, peaceful, and free from pain because people are conditioned to avoid dissatisfaction, thus eliminating chaos. John, unable to accept this worldview, seeks isolation in the countryside, where he tries to live a life of simplicity and self-discipline. However, he is continuously harassed by curious citizens. In the end, overwhelmed by the pressures of both worlds, John tragically takes his own life. Themes include control versus freedom. The world state prioritizes societal stability over individual freedom. People are conditioned to conform, and the government uses technology and drugs to suppress any potential sources of conflict. Happiness versus truth. The novel raises questions about the cost of maintaining happiness.